Hey guys, welcome back to Forceful Anime. If you love intense anime stories, dark twists, and powerful what if fanfics, then you are in the right place. On this channel, we bring you epic Naruto fanfics, alternate timelines, and stories that will completely change how you see your favorite characters. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's story. Video title: The Dark Truth Behind Naruto's Twin Sister, Naruto What If Story. A beautiful girl with red hair and glowing green eyes stood and waited her turn as they called students in for the graduation test. The other students all around her gave her quite hateful glances, and some talked about her in a loud whisper so she could hear it as well. The girl clenched her fists and looked down as this happened. She really hated everyone. They all treated her badly just because she had a demon sealed inside her. Next up is Namika's son. A teacher called out as the girl with red hair raised her head and gave a nod. She quickly went into the next room where they told her to do the clone jutsu, and so she focused herself and did the proper hand signs before making three perfect copies of herself before making them poof away. That was a great job you did there, the examiner said as she walked out of the room. A little later, she and the rest of her class graduated and became genin. They started telling everyone their teams ahead of time, and so they began to go through the order before coming up to the red haired girl's name: Faith Namika's, Ryu Natsuhi, and Mizuki Shihiro on Team 7, the teacher announced. About a half an hour later, the teacher had finished announcing the teams, and the team's respective senseis had already picked them up, but Team 7 sensei had not yet arrived. Ryu walked over to Faith first with a cheerful smile plastered over his face. He is the type that girls fall for, but he is totally clueless about anyone's affections. Ryu is tall and stands at about 5 feet 9 inches with a good build, dark brown hair, and hazel eyes. Faith looked up at him but said nothing, but got surprised when he held his hand out to her. I'm Ryu, nice to meet you. You're Faith, right? Ryu asked, but Faith ignored his hand and his introduction, so Ryu pulled his hand back awkwardly and ruffled his hair up a bit. The other girl walked up and she was short, but she had these captivating bright blue eyes that matched with her dark blue hair, and she bowed politely to Faith and Ryu. My name is Mizuki, please take care of me, she said. Faith gave a sigh before stepping away from them. Why are you guys even talking to me? Don't you think I'm a monster or something? Faith asked them. Everyone else thinks I am, she said with a bitter tone. Mizuki scratched her head lightly and thought about it before shaking her head. I care for no such things. I judge people on how they actually are and how they act, and not what people claim them to be, Mizuki said as Ryu laughed before going over to drape his arm around Faith's shoulder. I don't care about that kind of thing either. I mean, you may have that QB thing or whatever sealed in you, but it isn't you. You weren't the one who destroyed the village, so you shouldn't be getting blamed for it, Ryu said. Faith shrugged him off and rubbed her arms lightly. She didn't know how to respond to them. She didn't expect them to respond in that way. Most people would have agreed that she was a monster before proceeding on to other insulting remarks about her. As she pondered over this, their sensei finally arrived. Yo kiddo, sorry I'm late, I had to help a grandma cross the street, the man with white hair said. Nah, that's alright, sensei. It's great that you were kind enough to help out that old lady, Ryu said as Mizuki and Faith looked at each other and wondered if Ryu was serious. With no further words, their sensei took them up to the Hokage monument to get started. Once there, the team had introduced themselves to one another. Faith didn't bother sharing much about herself except for her name. After their introductions, their sensei explained the bell test to them before sending them off to get ready for it the next day. When they took it, the team almost failed because Faith was reluctant and hesitant to work with her teammates, but thanks to Ryu and Mizuki, who were trying to help her as best as they could, they were able to just barely pass. After they became an official Genin team, they went on several D-ranked missions and even a few small C-ranked missions as a team. Because of the kindness of her teammates and sensei, Faith started opening up to them and warming up to them, and soon she started to treasure them as her precious comrades. There were many times where Faith didn't even want to work with her teammates, but they would ignore her attitude towards them and keep trying to be friends with her. They would defend her whenever any of the villagers made rude remarks at her. Kakashi would treat her just like everybody else, and that made her feel normal. Faith soon could not help but smile around her team, and for once in her life she was glad that she was born because she was able to meet such wonderful people. Everything went smoothly for them until one day when they received a C rank mission and it went horribly wrong. They were supposed to escort back a building constructor to Kumogakure, but they were lied to by the man they escorted because he was actually an important official for the cage of Kumogakure. Team 7 was ambushed by rogue Anyons who wanted to capture the official and hold him for ransom. They decided to continue the mission together as a team and take back the official to escort him properly to Kumogakure. However, the Genin were pushed back because they weren't used to fighting against such strong shinobi. Kakashi had taken them almost all of them out when he saw one of them sneak up behind Ryu and Mizuki. He tried to get to them, but it was too late. The Onion stabbed them through the chest and pulled his knives out. Kakashi glared coldly as he quickly took him out, but when he turned around, Faith was kneeling down beside her teammates, crying her eyes out, telling Ryu and Mizuki to hang on, but they were stabbed in vital organs and they were already bleeding a lot. Their blood was pooling around them slowly as their skin started to slowly turn cold. Faith held onto both of their hands tightly as both Mizuki and Ryu smiled sadly. It really isn't fair that it had to end this way, Faith, but I'm glad that you were able to open up to us and become our friend. I'm happy that you at least didn't get hurt, Mizuki said, uttering her last words before she fell silent and died. Faith started sobbing as she hugged Mizuki and told her not to go, but it was futile. Ryu reached up to Faith and brushed away her tears. Please don't cry, Faith. It really sucks that we got it handed to us like that, but I don't regret anything in my life, Ryu said as he coughed out blood. No, please don't say anything, Ryu. Save your breath, Faith sobbed through hiccups. Ryu started to play and caress Faith's hair. I always loved your hair, Faith. It's so pretty, Ryu said as the tears just kept streaming down her face. I don't want to die while seeing you so sad, so please smile for me, Faith. I have always loved you and your smile, he confessed to her. Faith gasped a little and shook her head as she forced herself to smile for Ryu, and when he saw it, a few tears fell down his face. Why, you know. After seeing you smile for me, I really don't want to die, Ryu said with a weak laugh. Thank you for being my friend. Faith, he said, uttering his last words as he took one last breath before closing his eyes and going quiet. Faith couldn't hold it in any longer and she screamed in pain. She lost both of her precious friends in one fell swoop. They were her only friends. Clutching onto their clothes, she leaned over their fallen bodies and continued to cry for what seemed like hours. Kakashi stood off to the side, not really knowing what to do. He wore a sad expression as he clenched his fists lightly. After Faith had cried her heart out and ran out of tears to shed, the two of them went back to the village and reported everything. A few days later, a funeral was held for Mizuki and Ryu. After that horrible ordeal, Faith started getting sad and bitter and distanced herself more than before. Kakashi tried everything he could think of to cheer her up, but nothing he did worked. Faith eventually received new team members but refused getting close to them because of the fear of losing them if she does. They went into the Chunin exams and Faith was the only one who moved up to Chunin from her team, and eventually with her skills and smarts she was able to move up to being a Junin when she reached the age of 15. From there, she didn't talk very much with Kakashi anymore and went on solo missions when she could and avoided making too many relationships with anyone because she felt like she would break if she started to care for people again, and the same thing that happened to Ryu and Mizuki would happen to others. One day she bumped into Kakashi in the streets and he gave a nod to her. "How are you doing, Fight?" "It has been a while since we have talked," Kakashi said. "I'm doing fine," Fight said simply. An awkward silence had set around them before Kakashi cleared his throat. "That reminds me, the Hokage wants to speak to us," he said. With that, they went up to the Hokage's office together and listened to what he had to say. "From this day forward, I want Fight to assist Kakashi and his new genin team. No questions asked, all right?" Sarutobi said as he looked at Fight. She cast her eyes down in silent refusal, but nevertheless it was an order from the Hokage, so she had to accept the offer. The next day she arrived at the training field and everyone was already there, and even Kakashi was there. Both Sakura and Sasuke made their introductions to Fight, and so she looked at the blonde guy next. "Hey. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and just you wait, I'm going to become the Hokage and make people notice me," he said with a foxy grin. Fight's eyes widened a bit as she heard his exclamation, and all of a sudden she got this nostalgic feeling, almost as if she knew him. Let's do a more formal introduction. State your likes, dislikes, hobbies, and dreams," Kakashi said as Naruto sighed. Hey, why don't you start us off then?" Naruto said. Kakashi pondered about it for a bit and nodded. "Me. I'm Kakashi Hatake. I have no intention of telling you my likes and dislikes, my dream. I have few hobbies," he said. Naruto and Sakura looked at each other. "So, all we figured out was his name," Sakura said. "Alright, now it's your turn," Kakashi said as Naruto raised his hand. "Oh, I'm Uzumaki Naruto and I like cup ramen, but I like the ramen that Iruka sensei bought from Ichiraku for me even more. I dislike having to wait for 3 minutes after putting hot water into cup ramen. My hobby is to eat and compare cup ramens, and my dream is to become greater than the Hokages. I'm going to make all the villagers recognize my existence," Naruto said with a smirk. Kakashi raised his eyebrows slightly. "I see. He grew up in an interesting way," he thought as he glanced at Fight, who glared at Naruto. His previous exclamation surprised her, but now that he said it again, it made her realize who he was. "Okay. Next," Kakashi said. "Haruno Sakura. Well, the person I like is, my hobby is, my dream is," Sakura said as she kept looking over to Sasuke before giving a small squeal. Kakashi's sweat dropped a little. "So, what do you hate?" he asked. "Naruto," Sakura said without hesitation as Naruto frowned. Girls her age are more interested in love than ninja training, Kakashi thought. "Uchiha Sasuke, I have many things I hate, and there aren't a lot of things that I like. Also, I have an ambition that I have no intention to leave as just a dream. The revival of my clan and to kill a certain man," Sasuke said as his expression turned cold. "I seriously hope he's not referring to me," Naruto thought as he paled a little. "Sasuke-kun is so cool," Sakura thought with a blush. "Just as I thought," Kakashi thought. "You three all have unique personalities. I like that," Kakashi said. "Last person," he said and gave a nod to Fight. She crossed her arms as a wave of nostalgia washed over her. It reminded her of the first time she became a genin and introduced herself like this. "I am Fight Namikas. I like to train, and what I dislike are the people who have scorned me. My hobby is training, and my dream is to show the villagers how wrong they were to shun me," Fight said as she walked up closer to Naruto and stood in front of him. Naruto blinked as she stared, or rather, glared at him. What's her problem? She got a crush on me or something? Sorry, but I'm only into Sakura, he thought. Fight suddenly realized who Naruto was and grabbed him by the collar, which made Kakashi flinch a bit in surprise. "Hey. What do you think you're doing?" Naruto asked as he struggled a little bit. Do you seriously think the villagers will ever recognize us? Fight asked him, what? Naruto said as Fight dropped him to the ground. Naruto, you alright? Sakura asked as she looked a little worried. The way the conversation seemed to be heading was starting to interest Sasuke as he looked at Naruto and Fight. People will never accept those who are different, that's just how it is. The villagers will always look at us in fear and with hate. That will never change. You are a fool to think that it ever will, she said. I don't even know what you are talking about, you crazy person, Naruto said as he got up and dusted himself off. Who do you think you are to grab me like that? He asked. You haven't figured it out. I can't believe I have a brother this dumb, Fight said. Everything went silent as the three members of Team 7 mouths dropped. Brother. All of them thought at the same time. I don't understand. I don't have any siblings. I'm an only child, Naruto said in disbelief. The explanation is that we were split from birth. I had all of this explained to me by Sarutobi-san when I was younger. We're twins, Fight said. You're my twin. I have a twin. I have a sister, Naruto said. You are related to Naruto. Ova isn't that pretty unfortunate. He can be so selfish and childish. I mean, he wasn't raised, Sakura started saying but was cut short when Fight appeared in front of her in close range with a Chidori aimed right for her. In alarm, Kakashi reacted and stopped Fight by grabbing her arm and pulling it behind her back, effectively stopping her in her tracks. That's enough, Fight, Kakashi said as Fight yanked her arm away. You need to shut yourself up. You don't understand anything, so you better not run your mouth off anymore. Fight yelled at Sakura in anger. Sakura dropped to her knees in fright. She hadn't experienced anyone attacking her with the intent to really harm her before. If you're related to Naruto, shouldn't you be a genin as well? Sasuke asked. I graduated early and I actually have skills, so I easily became a Junin. Fight said as she tried to calm herself down. I want you to teach me. I need to quickly acquire the skills I need in order to achieve my goals, Sasuke said as Fight turned her attention to Sasuke. I refuse. You don't have what it takes, she said. What do you mean? Sasuke asked with a glare. You lack something great, and even I lack something that prevents me from becoming stronger than I am now. In any case, I will not help you, she said as Kakashi clapped his hands. Now you were given orders to assist me fight. You are to help me watch over these brats. If you ever try anything like that again, then I'll have no choice but to report you to the Hokage, alright? Kakashi said. Fight rolled her eyes and crossed her arms as Naruto went up to her. Hold up, everything is moving in such a fast pace here. First I get grabbed and told that I have twin, and then Sakura gets attacked and all of this. Wah, Naruto said in confusion, but despite that confusion he suddenly pulled Fight into a tight hug. What? Let me go, you idiot. Fight exclaimed. Come on. If we are twins, then this is the first time we have met each other in a while, right? I'm glad that I'm not actually alone, Naruto said as Fight stopped trying to get out of the hug. She gave up and returned the hug before Naruto let go. You must know who our parents are, right? I mean, we are twins after all, Naruto said with a hopeful look in his eyes as Fight looked away. No. I'm sorry. I don't know, she said. Naruto looked disappointed, so Fight gave him a pat on the head, which got him all happy again since he at least had a twin now. Things went silent once more since none of them knew what else to say, and it felt weird if they broke the silence. Kakashi rubbed his temples. This is going to be an interesting group. Wonder what the Hokage thought when he assigned Fight to help me, he thought. Alright, we are going to begin a mission starting tomorrow, Kakashi said to break the silence. Huh? What kind of mission is it going to be, sir? Naruto asked. First, we're going to do something that we five can do, he said. What is it? Naruto asked again. Kakashi crossed his arms. Survival training, he said. Survival training. Naruto said. Why are we going to train when it's a mission? Sakura asked. He's not planning on going along with the same thing again this year, is he? Fight thought. We had plenty of training at the academy, Sakura said. But this is no ordinary training, Kakashi interjected. Then what kind of training is it? Naruto asked as Kakashi gave a chuckle. You're acting creepy, Kakashi. Just get on with it and tell them already, Fight said as Sakura frowned. Hey, what's so funny, sensei? She asked. Kakashi waved it off while continuing on with a light chuckle. Well, if I say this, I'm sure you three are going to be surprised, he said as he gave a look to Fight since she was already aware of what he was planning to do. Kakashi got serious all of a sudden as he looked at the three in Genin. Out of the 27 graduates, only 9 are going to become Genins, the other 18 will be sent back to the academy. In other words, this training is going to be a hard test with a dropout rate of 66%, he explained as Sakura and Naruto paled while Sasuke showed a small expression of surprise on his features. See, you three are surprised, Kakashi said. Of course they'll be surprised if you tell it to them like that, Fight said. No way. I went through so much trouble. Then what was that final exam for anyways? Vismayadibodhak Chinha Uddharan Chinha. Naruto asked in frustration. That. It just picks out who is qualified to be a genin, he said, Heart. Naruto exclaimed as he looked somewhat crestfallen. Fight pinched the bridge of her nose since she was starting to get a headache. She attempted to comfort Naruto by patting him on the back, but she wasn't used to these sort of things, so when she tried, she used a little too much force and pushed him over, making him fall flat on his face. What was that for? Naruto asked. Sorry, was all Fight said. Anyway, I will determine whether you pass or fail tomorrow here at the training grounds. Bring your ninja equipment and meet at 5 am, Kakashi announced as the focus was back on him again. Naruto cast his eyes downward with worry. I'm not going to get dropped by a thing like this. I have to make him recognize my abilities, for real, Naruto thought seriously. If I fail this test, I'll be separated from Sasuke-kun. This is a trial of love, Sakura thought with a look of determination. Sasuke stayed silent but he clenched his hands together tightly as Kakashi turned away from them. Okay then, meeting over. Oh yeah. Don't eat breakfast. You're going to throw up if you do, he said. With that last bit from Kakashi, everyone split up. Fight followed Kakashi along as the three genin headed home to get ready. So, you're planning to give them the test again. A majority of the students you've had before, except us, failed, right? Fight said as Kakashi nodded. I want to see what they're really made of. Don't spoil Naruto by telling him what it's really about just because he's your brother, he said. I won't. I suppose I'll be helping you, or can you handle it yourself? Fight asked. Kakashi thought about it and put his hand on her head since she was shorter than him. I'll take care of it, you just watch. Besides, I don't want to make it too hard by having you help out, he said as a small blush appeared on her cheeks and she pulled his hand off her head. Stop treating me like a kid, Fight said. Why? I am older than you after all, he said. But we are of the same rank, she said. Alright, I'll give you that. But I am your senpai in terms of experience, Kakashi said. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, he added in before flashing away. Fight stood there on the path that they just walked on and stared at the spot where Kakashi had just been standing in only a minute ago. Saying nothing else, she turned away and walked back to her apartment where she stayed. Fight only hoped that Naruto would do alright on the test. She could care less about the other two, but if they didn't do well, then they would be dragging Naruto down. The three were the first to arrive at the training field early in the morning. Sakura rubbed her eyes as she gave a faint and mumbled, "Good morning," and Naruto gave a tired, "Hey," in return. The genin stood and waited for their senseis to arrive, but neither of them came yet. The time ticked on and on as the sun soon started to rise. Even then, their senseis have not yet arrived. Naruto plopped down onto the ground with a moan before sprawling out onto the grass. Get up, Naruto. They might come any minute. Sakura scolded, but her scolding fell upon deaf ears as Naruto rolled onto his side the other way. Sasuke sighed as he set his pack down and taking a seat. It was obvious that they wouldn't show up anytime soon, so he saw no point in holding on to it for so long. Sakura followed his action of setting her back down before sitting down onto the grass as well. While Sakura and Sasuke were wondering where Kakashi and Fight were, Naruto and his thoughts were drifting off onto a whole other topic. It was mostly about Fight and her being his twin and all. He was as happy as he could possibly be for finding out that he had a twin. He wasn't alone, he has someone who has felt the same pain. He now has someone who he could really call family. What really freaking troubles me is, why the heck did the old man not tell me about her? He should have known, right? I bet he did, so both Fight and I had to go through everything we went through alone because the old man held out on us. But, didn't Fight know? I mean, she was the one that told me that she was my twin, and she said Sarutobi explained it to her when she was young. But why only her? Naruto thought. He usually didn't like to be this serious, but this kind of situation or problem wasn't the kind where he could just laugh it off. There were things that needed to be explained, and he planned to get the explanations for them after the belt test. I'll make sure I pass this bell test and show Kakashi sensei and Fight what I'm made of before I go give Gramps a piece of my mind, he thought. As his train of thought ended, Fight and Kakashi finally arrived to the training field. Hi fellows. Good morning, Kakashi greeted them as they all jumped up. You're late. Sakura and Naruto yelled out. Fight's sweat dropped as she waited to listen to the explanation Kakashi had in store for them. This happened the first time, so she figured she would come a little later to avoid having to wait for Kakashi. A black cat crossed my path, so he said as the three genin rolled their eyes. Let's just move on, Kakashi. They don't want to listen to your explanation after waiting this long for us to come, Fight said as Kakashi set down a clock onto a wooden stump. Okay, I get it. The alarm is set at 12 p.m., Kakashi said. Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto all wore puzzled expressions on their faces as they looked at their sensei. What for? Sakura asked as Fight gave a cough. Allow me to explain. Today you three will need to get a bell from Kakashi, Fight explained as Kakashi held up two bells. Whoever is unable to get a bell will receive no lunch, Fight said. I'm going to tie you there and eat lunch in front of you, Kakashi added in as he gestured to three wooden target practices. Fight sighed and looked at Naruto and the others as their stomachs growled with hunger. Even I wouldn't be that mean to them, Fight thought. So that's why he told us not to eat breakfast, the three of them said. Sakura looked at the bells again and then turned to Kakashi. Wait, why are there only two bells? Sakura questioned. Since there's two, at least one of you will have to be tied to the log. The person who gets tied to the log will have failed since he or she did not complete the mission. The person will have to go back to the academy, Fight answered her as what seemed to be an amused expression appeared on Kakashi's features, or at least you could sort of tell that he was amused by looking at his one eye that was showing. All at once you could see the emotions on each one of the Genin's faces change. Each of them became more serious upon listening to Fight explain what their mission was. It might be just one, or all three who will fail. Your opponent will be Kakashi. I will not be interfering with the test in any way. You may use shurikens. If you don't attack Kakashi with the intent to kill him, then you definitely won't have a chance to get the bells, Fight said. But that's too dangerous, Kakashi-sensei, Sakura protested. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't even dodge the chalkboard eraser, remember? Naruto said with a laugh. Fight went over and flicked Naruto's forehead. Idiot brother, don't underestimate Kakashi or you'll get what's coming to you, she said. It's alright, Fight. You know, those who don't have any skills are usually the ones who complain more anyways, Kakashi said. Fight ignored Kakashi before putting both her hands on Naruto's shoulders. You better pass this test, Naruto, Fight said, and as she started to pull away, Naruto grabbed one of her hands. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. What are you doing? Let me go, otherwise the test won't start, she said. Promise me that if I pass the test that you'll confront the old man about us being siblings, together with me. You knew right. I want to know why you didn't come find me earlier, Naruto said. Fight looked to Kakashi before casting her eyes downward and pulling her hand away from Naruto. She tensed up and got silent. Fight could feel Naruto staring at her and waiting for her answer. She looked back up before running her fingers through her hair and with a sigh gave a small nod. Fine. I promise, she said. Okay. Let's get back on track. Try not to interrupt again. Guy with the lowest score, Kakashi said as a visible vein appeared on Naruto's head, showing how annoyed he got by that one remark from Kakashi. We are going to start after I say, ready, start, okay, he said. However, Naruto was hardly listening to him at all because Guy with the lowest score kept echoing in his head until he got frustrated, and whipping out a kunai, Naruto charged towards Kakashi. Fight was about to stop him, but Kakashi had appeared in an instant behind Naruto. He was holding Naruto's hand behind his head, with the tip of the kunai just about an inch away from its target. Don't be so hasty. I didn't say start, yet did I? Kakashi said as Sakura gasped lightly. No way. I couldn't see him at all, she thought as Fight appeared next to Naruto, aiming a punch at Kakashi, who managed to just sidestep it and grab her arm, pulling her in close to him as he released Naruto from his grip. Fight blushed for an instant before she pulled herself away. So they are Junin. Sasuke thought. Interesting. I think I might start to like you three. Are you ready now? Ready? Start. Kakashi said as the three genin disappeared from sight. The only two that were left standing there was Fight and Kakashi. She gave him a long hard stare which made him hold his hands up in defense. Don't be so cold, Fight. You're acting as if I really would have hurt him, Kakashi said. You know I wouldn't have, he added in. I know. But I can't be too careful. Not after losing those two. I can't just help feeling that those I get close to will. Fight said as she felt a hand on her head. I won't let anything of the sort happen again. You can rest assured, he said. Fight didn't smack his hand away this time and instead she gave a small smile. Okay, she said. Oh, and one thing, please don't help Naruto in this test, Kakashi said. I won't, Fight said as Kakashi gave a nod. As Fight walked off to the side and stood where the clock was, Kakashi looked around and saw that everyone was hidden pretty nicely. Let's have a match fair and square, Naruto exclaimed as Fight fell in an exaggerated way. You idiot. What was the whole point of your disappearing earlier if you're going to reappear in front of the enemy and give away your location like that? Fight scolded as Naruto winced and grinned. No problem, he said as Fight face palmed. What am I going to do with him? He is obviously lacking any common sense a ninja should have. Alright, it looks like after this bell test, I will have to start training him myself, otherwise he'll get himself in danger sooner or later. The problem right now is, will his team be able to pass? No one Kakashi had ever taught has passed the bell test, even my team just barely made it somehow, Fight thought. Kakashi looked dumbstruck as he looked at Naruto. Hey, aren't you a little weird compared to the rest? He asked. What's weird is your hairstyle, Naruto retorted before giving a sort of grunt and charging towards Kakashi again. Naruto, however, stopped short when he saw Kakashi reaching into his ninja pouch to get something. Ninja tactic know-how number 1, Taijutsu. I'll teach you that one first, he said. Taijutsu. That's fighting without using weapons, right? Is he planning to use one? Naruto thought before he saw that what Kakashi pulled out was book titled, Flirting Paradise. He gave a questioning look to Kakashi. Why did you, pull out a book? Naruto asked. Why? I got curious as to how the story was going to develop. Don't worry. It's the same whether I read it or not, Kakashi said. The test continued on from there and Fight acted as its spectator. She was unamused. Nothing about the test interested her. Sure, she was going to give some credit to the Uchiha for having some skills, but she was more concerned about Naruto. He got caught in a trap multiple times where she had to go and secretly cut him down. After a while, she got tired of it and stopped helping. The test finally concluded at about 12 p.m., but because Naruto had made an attempt to get to the food that Kakashi had prepared, he ended up being the one tied to the log. Fight could only watch as Naruto starved. She knew it was still a part of the test, so she still could not interfere. In the end, his teammates offered him food and they almost got in trouble with Kakashi, but somehow they actually passed the test because they helped out Naruto. Fight got up and untied Naruto, and as she turned around to leave, she was stopped by Naruto, who had gotten in her way. He was stuffing his face with food as he made an attempt to try and speak to her. Swallow first before speaking. Uddharan Chinha. Fight said impatiently, don't forget about our promise. We are going right now. I passed the test, Naruto said as Fight blinked once or twice before remembering what she promised Naruto in the beginning. Before she knew it, she was being dragged to the Hokage's office by him, leaving Kakashi and the other two behind on the training field. The Hokage was in his office reading through documents and papers when two ninjas suddenly burst through the door of his office and walked up to the front of his desk. When he looked up, he saw Naruto's determined face and Fight's apologetic one. What are you trying to do by bursting in like this, Naruto-kun? Sarutobi, the third Hokage, asked. You should know what I am going to do, Gramps. I am going to demand an explanation from you about this whole twin thing between Fight and I, Naruto said. Sarutobi closed his eyes as he looked at Fight, who gave him a nod. The Hokage retold the story of how the Kyuubi attacked the village and destroyed many things and killed many people. He went on about how no shinobi could defeat it no matter how hard they had tried. It was at that desperate moment that the fourth Hokage was able to somehow seal away the Kyuubi. Sarutobi then stood upright when he said that and pointed to the two of them. He split up the Kyuubi into yin and yang and sealed them into newborn babies. You are sealed with the yang side of the Kyuubi and Fight is sealed with the yin, he said as Naruto held a bewildered and shocked expression. The fourth is our father, Fight added in. Naruto dropped to his knees and held his head in pain. Haha. He laughed awkwardly. So, why did Fight keep it from me? Why did you have to split us if you were just going to end up putting us together on the same team? Naruto asked as he glared at the third Hokage. I asked Fight to keep quiet about it and to not search for you. I told her all that I am telling you right now. After the incident she had experienced with her team, Sarutobi said as Fight clenched her hands together tightly until it turned white. She was on a team that was taught by Kakashi. They went on a C rank mission that went wrong and they got ambushed by rogue ninjas. Only Fight and Kakashi made it back, he said. Naruto looked back up at Fight. She looked sad, pained, and lonely. In an instant, they were gone. My only friends, the only people who ever accepted me as an actual human being, Fight said as her voice started cracking a little bit, tears threatening to fall from her eyes. Naruto's glare had softened as he found the strength to stand up and take a hold of Fight's hand as she stood there and covered her face with her free arm. A few teardrops dripped onto the carpet as she squeezed her twin's hand. Hey. Naruto. You experienced the same pain, right? We went through the same, right? After that incident, I had no one else to turn to but the Hokage. I, myself, refused to get close to anyone because I fear the same thing would happen again. It's the whole village's fault, right? That we ended up like this and we had to endure so much pain for something we did not do ourselves, Fight said. Naruto didn't say anything to her as he looked at Sarutobi. Keep on going, old man, he said quietly. He was about to continue, but Fight cut him off. It's their fault, it's all their fault, isn't it, Naruto? It's even your fault, Hokage-sama, Fight said as she squeezed Naruto's hand even tighter. She wiped all the tears away from her eyes, and when she pulled her hand away, her pupils had become slits and her eye color changed from green to red. If you would have at least said something, anything, would the people have listened to you and not treat us so badly? It's their fault because they don't understand that we are still humans too, and it's your fault that you split us up, let us become alone, and let it all just happen. Fight growled as red chakra started forming around her. Sarutobi made a sound of alarm as he formed some kind of hand sign and jabbed Fight in the stomach, making her let go of Naruto's hand and fall unconscious. Gramps, what the hell did you do to Fight? Naruto shouted. I will tell you why I had to split you at birth. As children, you two were unstable when you were together. With both yin and yang so close together, it was possible that the seals could have been undone and the Kyuubi could have been released again. If we left it alone and let you two grow up together to experience what you have experienced, this village might not even be here anymore. We decided that the best solution was to separate you two until at least one of you could control their chakra up to a certain degree before putting you together again. Fight showed exceptional skills in being a ninja. She was strong and was very intelligent. She was among one of the few genins who graduated the academy very early. Because of that, I told her about everything first so that she would know ahead of time. She took that chance to get in tune with the inside of the Kyuubi and was able to control her chakra better afterwards. When she assumed the position of Junin, I decided that it was finally the right time to let you two meet. I forgot that the two of you are still growing up, and it was my mistake to keep it a secret for so long, Sarutobi said. Naruto stayed silent through the whole thing, and the only thing he did was move to pick up Fight and set her down into a chair. Naruto faced Sarutobi as his whole body shook with anger. Yeah. It was your mistake, you damn old man. Naruto growled as he lunged at the third Hokage. He was stopped immediately by two Ambu guards who pinned him down to the ground. Naruto struggled wildly to break free, and he did for a little bit but was held back once more. I won't be satisfied until I punch you once. Let me punch you once, old man, Naruto yelled. For everything. One punch should be enough, he said. This went on for a few minutes until Naruto got tired from all the struggling. Let him go, it's fine, Sarutobi said as the Ambu guards let go and disappeared. If that is what will satisfy you, come on. I may be old but I can take a punch, Sarutobi said as Naruto bit his lip before pushing himself and giving one straight to the third Hokage. It left a bruise mark on his cheek but not much else. Naruto panted tiredly. He was exhausted from what has been happening the whole day. Her pain, to tell the truth. I don't think I can understand it. I mean, I sort of do but I sort of don't. We both got treated badly but I actually somehow managed to find friends or at least buddies to hang out with. Fight had nothing, Naruto said. It isn't too late for her, Naruto. Help her, guide her out of the darkness and let her open up to people again. She finally has you now to be there for her, Sarutobi said as Naruto gave a simple nod before hoisting Fight up onto his back and disappearing from the office without saying another word. After leaving the Hokage's office, Naruto had appeared back at his apartment. He cleared everything before putting Fight on his bed. I promise that we will be there for each other from now on. I will become Hokage and make people recognize us, believe it. Naruto said quietly. He pulled a blanket over the now sleeping Fight as he went and prepared himself a cup ramen. Naruto sat down at the table in his apartment as he waited for the agonizing 3 minutes to pass before he could eat. As he waited, he slowly started drifting off, and before he knew it, he had fallen asleep. At that moment, Fight had woken up. She recalled what happened and frowned before she realized where she was and saw Naruto sleeping at the table. Fight laughed quietly, a happy sort of laugh that she didn't know she still had in her. as she got up and wrapped the blanket around Naruto. Fight looked at the cup ramen and smiled as she wrote a note and made her way out of his apartment. And that's it for today's story. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Forceful Anime for more amazing fanfics and anime content. Comment below what story you want to see next. Your idea might be our next video. Until then, stay powerful, stay anime, and I'll see you in the next one.